It's 2026! Happy New Year, YouTube! Today's the day. We're gonna replace the driver's seat in the 2007 Volvo XC70. Here's our current position or situation with the Volvo XC70 driver's seat. The bolster, it's just worn out, just rubbed away. So I knew this one was starting to get really bad. It's gotten pretty bad in the last 6 months. I was gonna do this project last summer, but that XC90 took up all my time, so I'm back at it. Yeah, let's get this pulled out of here. A couple things we gotta do first, because I've had that seat sitting in my garage for I think about a year, maybe a little over a year. Last January, last February, something like that. So that one's been sitting there just waiting for me to put it in, but never got around to it, and it's taken up a ton of space. It's a great rag holder, but it needs to be in there. Quick note, the Volvo P2s, the power seat module, there's one in each of the front seats, the driver's seat and the passenger seat. That's a module, that's a computer that is programmed to the central electronic module, ECM, electronic central module, whatever that is. Basically, your seats, your power seats, are programmed to the car. So when I take this seat out, I need to take the box off of the bottom, the power seat module, and we'll replace the power seat module sitting over there with this one, so that the car thinks it's got this seat in it. It doesn't care which actual seat it's actually attached to. So we're gonna make it think that is its original seat. It should work just fine. Couple things we gotta do first. We need to get some rough measurements of where this seat is sitting in its track and tilt and the back tilt, because we want, actually, we want to do that backwards. We want to measure the proportions of the seat mechanism on the new seat, and we want to match this seat that's in the car to those, so that when we put that one in there, the computer doesn't get confused and just reject it. So we want to get it close, that we can trick the system to say, hey, the seat's the same. That's the plan. Let's see if we can make it happen. So just cleaning this up with some Lexol, the cleaning phase 1 on leather seats. And it just kind of struck me that has always been really far forward. I think they did us a favor. I bet they rotated that all the way forward when they took it out. So that's going to be easy to match. I just got to make sure I get the front and back and the lower tilt. And I'll just measure that from frame rails on the same points on the inside of the car. I think this is going to work. All right, and just taking a quick look at this. This is our power seat module. This is the master box. This is, oh shit. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. What the hell? I hope. Oh boy. Let's go see. That should be the mounting part to my car. Please tell me that that goes to the car. All right, so getting lucky, because I just looked under the car, and sure enough, this is exactly how this one mounts. The V70, sitting right there that I put the R seats in, has this weird lifter tab and a slider that comes across here. So this car does not have that. So it's got this weird little box. So we are going to see how to disconnect this box. I don't know really what the screw with the spring is doing on the front of it. Let's do some investigating. All right, well, I've just been playing with this, trying to see how this box comes apart. And I've been looking at this weird nut with a spring on it, and just by fingers, just was able to turn it. You can see it I could see that it bolted in back here, so I just was experimenting to see if I could turn it. Saw that it was turning there, and as I'm turning it, this is opening up. That is the craziest looking connector I have ever seen. Would you look at that? Why is it done this way? That is bizarre. I will take it. I don't know why it's on a spring, absorbs shock. Who knows, but it's out. All right, so I took off the side panel on the seat so I can see and make measurements in here to set this one to the one that's getting put in. This is a simple, there's a little bolt right here somewhere. Where does that bolt through? There's a little tiny Torx bolt this big. And where does it mount through? It's mounting into the back of this somewhere. How does that mount through? What does it go into? It was on the bottom. Oh, I think it goes in right there through a little gap. So it's coming from here through there, bolts into the back of this. When you get that done, the front is loose. It's still connected. I need to leave it connected because I still have to adjust this seat, and those are my controls. When you get the front done, you just reach in the back, and this pries off of a round bar just reaching in from the back seat. It's easy to pop that up. So I have this loose. I want to make sure I don't break it, but I need it to be connected so I can move the seat and these angles. Not 100% sure that that's the proper angle on this. That looks about, I don't know, 90 degrees right there. Sort of, a little bit under 90 degrees. We'll, I'm trying to compare them to the base of the seat. Relative comparisons here. Hop into the boot, disconnect the battery. By the way, that's a brand new battery. All right, while I'm waiting for the battery to discharge fully in the system, give it a few minutes. There's our front bolts, but you can't see those. Let's see if I can keep it lit up. They're hidden by these covers, and they just slide in. So to get these out, you push the center right over the top of where the bolt's going to be, and it just pops free, slides off. One on the other side does the exact same thing, and just to tell you, that is dirtier than the one I'm about ready to put in. So it wasn't as gross as I thought it was. All right, well, working back here in the back seat, I couldn't figure out how to get these off. So this is the left, that's the right, accessing them from the back seat. And you can see they just snap into place. So this one I was playing with it, and I stuck, I think it was a screwdriver because it was kind of stuck to the carpet over here. And I pried it away from this tunnel a little bit, and at the same time I was prying it with my right hand, I reached in here with my left hand and pulled it backwards. And sure enough, there's a catch mechanism right here. Do you see that? It's got a lock. So I was flexing it just enough this way, which was releasing it from that tooth. Let's see if I can turn this around. There's a tooth right here, and I just had to get enough of that to break free, and it allowed it to slide off. This side does not have a lock. So on this side, it's the same thing, except it's backwards. So you just got to pry it away from the side wall of the car, push it that way with your left hand. I used a screwdriver. I think actually I used this. The bone tool, got it down in there and was flexing the hell out of it. And then pulling with my right hand from in here like this, pulling it that way and pulling it backwards, and it just popped free, did not break. I was just decided that's it. I'm going for broke, and if I break them, I'll buy new ones at the junkyard because I'll know how they come off. So that is that. Now I have access to these two 13mm bolts back here. All right, there they are. Two 13mm bolts. These ones don't even have red Loctite on them. I did pull the cushion out of the bottom because last time I did my V70 with the R seats, I think it was easier to come through this way. And that way, if I scratch any paint, it was in the back. And then up here in the front, there were these 13mm bolts, a little bit different. They don't have a washer on them, and they have red Loctite. So this is free and loose. I just got to disconnect cables. All right, I just snipped 3 zip ties on that cable and disconnected the green connector off the bottom of the seat, so that comes out. Obviously, that's got to mount to our new seat. And then I did the weird little springy, this is just finger tight. So it's just on a spring for some reason. You can see it comes in all the way in the back. It just lets itself out. That's going to stay with the car. Now we're free. Everything else can come out. I just got to look. Oh, I got to disconnect the seatbelt. Yep, disconnect the bottom mount of the seatbelt. Just going to show you this mechanism real fast because that is really hard to get out. The seatbelt connects right in there. And if I can keep it lit up, or you can adjust to it, there it is, right there. I can push it with my finger, but I used a screwdriver. You just shove it really hard because it is a tight spring on the back. You shove that in, and once you get it in far enough, the top will slide right out. And then the seatbelt is disconnected. It looks like that. It just slides down in there. Well, that's my old one is out with the rip. I think I came pretty close to getting that right. Now they're side by side. It's a little bit too far forward. Maybe that one just doesn't go as far forward. The cushion might be tighter or something. But they are definitely the same seat. It's the first time I've had them side by side to make sure they are the exact same color. But that's what we're improving. Getting rid of that for that. And if I remember right, this seat, I found it on Facebook Marketplace a year ago, November last year, something like that. February, I don't remember. And it cost, I think, 50 to 75 bucks. Can't remember. I think it was 75, but it was totally out of a car. I didn't have to pull it out myself. So I was totally willing to do that. Now you can see I scratched up this just a little bit coming through the back because I had to lift it. It's just too wide for the track to come out. I had to get it into the window space here, and I just caught that a little bit. But I'm not too worried about it because I want to replace this one at some point anyway because that is cracked. So, oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. So now let's clean this up. That's the best access we're ever going to have. Let's get the vacuum cleaner in there and find buried treasures. All right, well, that's looking way better. Just vacuumed that out with a shop vac and then took a wet washcloth to it. Definitely has had some spilled lattes, and that looks like some old bubblicious gum or wax or something burned itself or melted into the carpet. So that's kind of hard as a rock. Gonna leave that, but I just didn't realize that I don't have a diffuser. It's supposed to have a plastic insert, like a little hand, well, backwards going this way, that spreads that air out underneath the seat. So I think that's going to be good enough for this car. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the new one in here. All right, next phase. Let's remove that box to figure out how it comes off without breaking it, because I don't care if that one breaks because it's not staying. And then we'll know how to get this one off and put it over here. And I think I just saw it. There's a bolt right there, and there's a bolt right there. Should be 2 bolts. And I already undid these 2 clips, but we need to keep this box to put onto this seat. That was it. Just 2 itty bitty little Torx. I don't even know what size they are. They are tiny. And then that rotates forward and off. The bracket stays with it. And I can just disconnect these cables nice and easy like now. This box will go to garbage recycling. And then we'll transfer this one over. Yeah. God, that's disgusting. Ugh. And I just verified the part numbers are the same. 307-39636 on these power seat modules for the driver's seat. But that one had different codes for when it was manufactured or where it was sourced or whatever lot. So those were different, but I know the programming for this module fits this car, so it's going back onto the donor seat. Et voila! Can you tell the difference? Me neither. But it's on there. That's the right one. All right, well, I think I'm ready. It's mounted on the bottom. I got my computer ready. Just drag this one out of the way because that's metal going to a scrapyard. Now the hard part, is it easier to go in this way? Front seat through the front door, because it was really hard to get through the back door. So maybe I just go front door. Maybe I give it an attempt. We'll see how this goes. I'm not going to film this because I don't want to be embarrassed, because it is just heavy and hard to pick up and manipulate. All right, well, so far it's much easier this way. This front door opens up a lot further than the back one. So I laid it in headrest first, going that way. Got it in. Now I think I can manipulate it, lay it up into that back space. Spin it like that, and then drop it into its place, sitting down. What are the odds? Super easy. Go through the front door, people. It's still easy having that cushion out because it can lay back and not damage anything. I can step in there whenever I want, not damage the seat. That was the way to do it. The one thing to watch out for is you just don't set it down on your connector here, because you don't want to break that. You need that to function. Would you look at that? Dropped it into its spots before I bolt this in, because technically this thing was sitting in a yard covered with a tarp waiting for me to come buy it. So I'm pretty sure it works. He said it worked. I trusted him. I had bought a bumper and some parts off of him before. I think I bought a tailgate off of him. The liftgate when this thing got crashed. Yeah, that's where I got the liftgate. Came from that car. The donor is the same seat. Same guy, Facebook Marketplace. Anyway, I'm going to connect my side adjuster panel, get that connected. Connect my battery. Let's make sure this thing moves with all the controls before we bolt it down, just in case I gotta go backwards. All right, well, just before I put the key in, I remembered, oh, my seatbelt's not attached. I don't want to set off the ABS safety system, so it needs to know that that's connected. But it's freaking missing. It's missing that. They must not have realized that this is a little pin that you can push in. Actually, where is the pin on this one? Right there. That little pin pushes in. You can see the mechanism. They unbolted it here, so I don't even know if I got a Torx big enough to do that. I need this piece on that seat. They took it apart by the bolt. All right, it was just a T50, but it does have this little notch right here that's going to line it into the frame at the right angle. All right, note to self, make sure that the seat belt buckler is there before you put the seat in, because I had to disconnect it and lift it back to here to be able to get in here with my wrench. socket T50 and tighten that bad boy up. Now I can drop it back in and reconnect it. All right, seatbelt is pressed back down in there and locked, so it is fastened, has an anchor. Bolts are not in the seat yet. I have this reconnected. Just realized I never undid the battery when I did that, so might be resetting an airbag light anyway. Yeah, because it would have realized that no, that was never connected when I had the battery on, so who knows? We'll see. I can always reset it in Vita, right? All right, you're with me. I don't know about you, but when I do these seats and airbag stuff and I put the battery back in, I know it's connected, lights are on. I haven't turned the switch yet. I'm always afraid things are gonna blow up in my face. So I kind of do it from out here. You're with me. All right, let's play with the seat. See if we have some controls. Nothing is working. Oh, because I didn't connect it. Why did I do that? Now I'm pretty much guaranteed I'm gonna have an ABS light. All right, it is now connected with this funky little connector with the little bolt in the middle of it. Let's turn it back on. Where's the keys? All right, you're with me. Let me get where I can show you. Battery, keys going in. Let's see if we got movement. It goes backwards. It goes forwards. It tilts. All right. Up and down. Up, down. All right, I think we got all of our motor movements. Let's bolt this thing down. And I didn't show you, but right when I pulled the key out, I happened to look at the dash and it said, SRS, airbag system service urgent. Gotta clear that. I hope my Vita with the Mongoose cable can pull that out. It's all back together. Functioning perfectly. Just have an SRF system, safety restraint system service, urgent, required, whatever. Right there when I turned it on because I forgot to disconnect the battery when I went to redo the seat and disconnected it. Still the battery connected. That's a big mistake. Oh my God, it went away. No more SRS airbag light. I was able just to clear it with my diagnostic laptop and the Vita software and a Mongoose cable. I still have a CEM because I have the fuse pulled out of the headlight washers. So that high pressure is not wasting a bunch of windshield washer fluid. It worked. I cannot believe it worked. I was just sitting here contemplating how much is it going to cost me to have the dealership clear an SRS airbag light. I didn't think I could do it with my just Vita and Mongoose. All right, YouTube, that's a wrap. we're gonna clean this car up over the weekend, get this thing ready to go back to campus with a seat that's not ripped. Hopefully the heater element works. That's the only thing I haven't tested. All right, well, I decided since I had such success getting rid of my orange windshield washer fluid drip on the XC70, that while I had this car in here, I just lifted up and take a look, pulled this little winglet off. I have a little winglet that puts air over the brakes on the passenger side, and sure enough, it looks like it has the exact same system as the XC90, pretty much. Same bucket here. And that is definitely cracked on the low pressure system pump. So I'm going to go on FCP Euro. I was hoping it's just one of these seals because I had them, so I'm going to order a pump and a seal, and as soon as those are here, I'll just leave this winglet off. We'll put it back when the parts get here, and we'll fix this leak while we got it. All right, pump and grommet ordered. $30 with shipping from FCP Euro. Should be here when I get back from New Mexico, and we will stop the drippy drip on this XC70. Look at the new seat in there. It's my car. Okay, let's see how this one is. Came up to here.
Super cool.
All right, I'm back. Let's get to it. I got parts in the mail, front wheels off. I just got to pop this bumper. We're going to see if we can leave the bumper cover on and just come in this way, right here. We just got to get on the back of that, right there. And we should be able to access it. I got my parts in. It does turn out, I just went and verified, it is the exact same pressure, or the washer pressure pump. It is a 313-49228, Pro Parts Sweden. It is the same exact unit, part number that came off of the, or we just put on the XC90. And this time it came with its own little sleeve style grommet. But the Volvo one is slightly different. The Volvo one is a 867 8424, and it has a little filter tip to it. So a little bit different, but I do believe they do the same function. So probably didn't need the Volvo one, but I gained the little heavier debris filtration system. So let's see if we can pop some rivets. There should be 3 or 4 rivets on the back side of this tire well. That's a clip. It's not holding anything. There's a rivet there. 2, 3, 4 up here. So 1 up there, 2, 3, 4 rivets. Pop those off and we should be able to access up through here. Just gotta get this out of the way. Probably gonna, oh, do I have a plate here? This car doesn't have a plate. It's missing a plate. It's supposed to be a plate across there holding all that in place. Doesn't have it. Interesting. All right, well, I did pop those 2 10mm bolts that are holding the liner up in here. Man, that thing is loose when you take it off. It's just riveted across the top, I guess. Anyway, that gives me plenty of access. Let's light that up. Look how orange that is. It's been leaking and leaking and leaking. So the good news is I only have that much fluid in there, so I can put a bucket under here and catch it as I pop this out. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a hold of the entire pump this time and just pull it out and let it spill into a bucket. Success! There was nary a drop of spilling, and I think I have access to be able to disconnect it. Is it still that funky red one? I don't think it is. I just gotta pop off these 2 hoses, disconnect this electrical, and we'll throw it back together. All right, well, that was easy. It is out. The grommet is out. It had a little crack in the same side, just a different place. I'll show you that in a minute. But right there in the middle of my light, oh, there you can see it. There is a little push pin right there on the top, little push tab, and that's super easy. It didn't have a red cover lock thing like the XC90 did, which I still don't know why they made it so complicated. But this is super easy. Bad one out, good one in, and lock it back up. Presto changeo, it's all back in there and connected. I think the hardest part was getting the clip to slide on. I did some dielectric grease on it to get the plastic to slide over and go down to the click. I'm gonna hop in. I'm gonna put a little bit of fluid in here. Probably what we pulled out in the bucket, and we'll hit the pump and see if it works. Great news. Filled it up with what I took out, and it does not appear to be leaking. I'm excited about that. Let's go hit the pump, see what happens on the windshield. All right, you're inside with me. I got it on. I don't have the car started. I guess I could start it. Nothing is pumping. That's not good. What is wrong? All right, well, I did get it to work. Got set in there, started the car, and then just let it pump, and then finally it came through, so it just must have had a big old air pocket in there. I had to shove it out. So we are good. I'm going to fill it up, make sure it's not dripping out when it's completely full, and then we'll rivet this back together. I'd say we're good. It's dry as a bone, nothing's dripping through, it's full up as far as I can see it. I'm gonna call that a success. Let me rivet this back together. I'm gonna put a replaceable plastic one down here instead of a hard metal one. A little pop one that I got at Harbor Freight. Should have one big enough for that to hold that against the frame. I bet I have the same issue on the other side. We'll go check. And 210s, wheel back on, and this car's ready to drive. So as I'm putting in the final rivet, this bottom one on the bottom, this plastic big one on the bottom there, all 4 of them are back in. I saw that it had a drip, and my grommet wasn't all the way in on the pump. So I had stuck the grommet onto the pump and then stuck the whole assembly in. I forgot, I'm supposed to stick the grommet in the hole and then insert the pump into it. So let's redo this. At least I didn't make a mess, but yeah. Just goes to show you could get to this without having, I don't know if you could get to the electrical connector, so I don't have to disconnect that this time. Just redo my sequence on insertion. All right, that's the proper installation. Get the grommet all the way in, then insert the pump. That's way better. Look how tight that is. It just pops back into some spots. Doesn't really have fingers. They're just little nubs that hold it in place. Just make sure you don't push on the little hose connectors where they go on the tabs, or those will crack, as we've seen. So let's fill this back up, and hopefully there's no leak this time. Let me dry it off so we can tell. All right, it's filled back up, and from what I can tell, it is staying dry. That's what it's supposed to look like. That's all the way inserted. Crossing my fingers. It's only been since 2019 that this thing has had a steady drip. And just like that, I got my knock-a-duck brake venting back on, my super winglet. Can't see it anymore. It might have a slight drip on one of the little hoses because I just reused them, so maybe they'll go through a little heat cycle, but that leak's going to be way, way less than what it was if it continues. If not, I'll just get a new piece of hose. Worry about that when it's warmer out. Let's try this for now. All on the ground, torqued, ready to drive. No leaks, no drips. All right, YouTube, that's a wrap on this one. Got a new seat. Got the sprinkler or the windshield washer fluid to probably stop leaking. And added bonus, my daughter told me she drove the car last weekend and it was cold out. She hit the seat heater button and it worked. I forgot to test that. So that's good news. It's probably a programming on the car. I'm guessing all of the leather upgraded seats on the XC70s had the heater units in them. And it was just an upgrade on the car if you had the winter package or not. So car always had it. So it worked. Thumbs up. I think this one just goes to show if I can figure it out and if I can do it, you can do it. Be safe out there. Have fun.